Blind Chance, made in 1981 but not distributed until 1987, is a feature fictional film made by Krzysztof Kieślowski, and to my mind, his greatest masterpiece. This is a film that needs to be watched by anyone interested in Kieślowski's work, and I think the single film that brings together all the subjects, all the themes of Kieślowski's work in general. Blind Chance is an experimental fiction film. It doesn't tell one story. It does focus on one character, that of Witek, played by Bogusław Linda, but it doesn't really tell one life story of Witek. It tells us three versions of life story of Witek, depending on something as tiny as Witek making it or not making it into a train bound from Łódź to Warsaw. There are three different versions of Witek's life. In one version, he becomes an ardent communist. In another version, he becomes anti-communist. In another version, he becomes a sort of a neutral person who focuses on a medical career and really is not interested in politics. And we can see three different versions of Witek's life and decide for ourselves which one is the most true, which Witek is the true Witek. The question that Kieślowski raises with this film, and the startling answer that he gives, is that it's always true Witek. It doesn't really matter whether Witek ends up as a communist or an anti-communist, or if he ends up as a neutral person. This is Witek. This is the person that is making choices in the moment, as all of us are, because there are no other choices as the free choices that we made moment by moment in our lives, and there is not a grand design, a grand narrative of our lives that is preordained or prepared for us as we are living. It's a deep philosophical statement made by a film that is experimental in form, that takes us back in time twice and makes us relive the life of Witek in its different versions. The really startling thing about this film, and you need to remember this as you are watching, is that it was made in a highly political time in Poland. To say what Kieślowski is saying with this film was actually very controversial, especially for the members of political opposition, the anti-communist opposition in Poland of 1981. Because what the movie is saying is that it doesn't really matter who you are in terms of your political allegiance. Your life may direct you towards communism. Your life may direct you towards anti-communism. Your life may direct you towards neutrality. What's really important is that in all of those incarnations, you need to remain true to yourself. It's a sort of a political relativism that wasn't really welcome by the members of opposition, and especially Solidarity, in 1981 as the movie was being made. Fortunately or unfortunately, the movie didn't premiere in 1981. The movie was stopped. It was shelved because of the martial law that was introduced that year, and it was shown only in 1987, so there was no real reception of the film that would allow the Polish public to discuss it. As it stands, it makes a profound statement about who we are, who we possibly are, and what are different versions of our lives, and what tiny details of our lives say and how they decide about who we become. The wonderful performance by Bogusław Linda and the masterful structure of the film still make it, I think, into the most deep and philosophical of all films made by Krzysztof Kieślowski.